Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Beyond the Job Title. Today, we have with us Krishna Ramesh, who works as a business consultant at Infosys. Welcome to the podcast, Krishna.
Hey Manmeet, thanks for inviting me. It's a good initiative that you started. All the best with it.
Thanks. So, Krishna, can you give us a quick overview of what business consultants do? What is this job title all about?
Right. So as a business consultant, I work as a business consultant and I focus on the utilities industry. So what that means basically is that we work with clients to actually provide solutions to their very specific business problems. Now, as you're aware, all these clients they have targets to meet, business targets to meet. They have regular commitments that they have to achieve. They have financial constraints, so there was a finite amount of money that they can spend in order to achieve these targets and these make these commitments. They need the right processes, they need the right solutions, and they need to put them in the right vehicles, i.e. projects, to actually get to the right answer that they need to get to. So what that's what we do as business consultants. We understand what the specific problem is, work out a pathway by which they can get from where they are today to the answer, and then help them go through that journey to actually get to the solution.
Nice. So, what does a typical day of business consultant look like? What kind of, say, deliverables you produce or tools you use in your day-to-day job?
So the short answer and the correct answer is depends. But
Mhm.
so I think broadly speaking, I divide my work days tend to get divided into two or three buckets. So first is project type work. The second would be things like business development. So when you're working on proposals and stuff like that, and the third is just general knowledge building that one needs to do in order to keep abreast with what's going on in the industry. Uh, the split of how you use your time to focus on each of these activities depends on that particular time of the project, whether you are on a project or not, whether you have to respond to a proposal or something or not. All of those competing deadlines you have to balance and make work, and that's what the day looks like. If I'm on a project, again, it depends on where you are in the life cycle of the project. If you're at the start and you're kind of building the business case, then that might be something that you're doing. You're drawing up the business case as to why this particular project needs to be done. What are the benefits? What are the failure points? How much will it cost to deliver it? Are you getting the right return on your investment? That kind of information. If you're subsequently as part of the delivery, you could be doing any kind of activities, whether it be design, whether it be doing the actual development of the process, or blueprinting, or solution implementation, issue management, whatever it is. I mean, it could be depending upon the entire life cycle of the project. That's what you'll be doing. So yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to give you a simple answer like I start my day at 9, finish at 5, and between 9 and 10 I do this, but I can't.
Mhm.
So you've heard of that saying, right? That I before E except after C as a thumb rule for spelling. Um, there are apparently as many exceptions to that rule as there are words that follow that rule. So if I give you a rule for how my day goes, there'll be a equal number of exceptions to that.
Sure. So, Krishna, what do you like about your job, and what are some of the things you don't like?
So what I like about the job is the variety. So truth is that every day is, or well, most projects that you do tend to be, a new challenge, something that either is a new question mark for the industry, a new question mark for the client, and therefore you've got to try and work out what the right approach, right solution, etc. is. It means you can't just take and do the same thing on a daily basis, which for me personally is very rewarding, because I like to understand new things and then pick them up and then work out what I have to do with them next. And that for me is the most interesting thing about the job. Thing that you don't like, I mean, it's difficult to say what you don't like, but yeah, I mean, it often project deliveries come down to making sure that you do a set of things on a daily basis, and that routine, uh, it's the only way that you're actually going to deliver successfully. But sometimes that routine can be a bit repetitive, and therefore not perhaps to my interest.
So business consulting is how's the work-life balance in this job?
Work life balance is an interesting thing. I mean, because of the nature of the work, it varies. Like I just said, I we don't do a 9 to 5 job. There are days when I've started at 6 a.m. and finished at 1 a.m. the following morning, and equally there are days that I have just done a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then closed my laptop and moved away. Work life balance is important, but I think you have to be able to adjust to the competing timelines that you will come up with. So, if you have a project deadline and there are phases in the project when you have a lot of work to do, you've got to be able to step up and do it. That's just the nature of the beast. Equally, there may be times in the project when it's light, but then you have other commitments like some business development work, some proposals to do, some presentations to give to other clients. All that kind of things just happens, and you have to be able to put time and effort into making that of the right quality.
Sure. Krishna, if somebody asks you what is one career advice either you received or you would like to give the audience, what would that be?
Hmm. So, one of the most important pieces of career advice that I was given was about getting involved in all phases and all types of different activities that exist in a project in within the company, and even with my clients. So what that because by its very nature, consulting is a generalist type role,
Mhm.
and knowing a lot of different things improves your ability to solutionize and give the right kind of advice to your clients and come up with the right answers when you're going into new projects. So the more you learn, the more experience you have in the different phases of working in the different aspects of your client's work, and in the different aspects even within your own company, the better will be your ability to understand and manage the competing forces that actually drive the work that you do.
Done.
Other than that, I would say also, um,
Mhm.
forming a very strong working relationship with your client is just of utmost importance.
Mhm.
Your projects just end up going a lot smoother if you have that constant ability to be honest with your client, for them to trust you, for you to trust them. Um, and yeah, and as long as you're able to communicate in the right way and convince them of your expertise and your knowledge of a particular thing, then they are also more willing to give you the right amount of leeway, because things will go wrong and you need their support when things go wrong, and keeping that strong relationship is important to manage during those tough times.
Understand. Krishna, the last question for the day. What was the career path you took to land yourself as a business consultant? And if somebody's starting afresh, what could be a journey they can take to land themselves a role of a business consultant?
So for me, see, I did, and I suspect it's going to be quite different now, because when I did my graduation in engineering in 2005, and then subsequently I did my MBA, uh, I then managed to get a job in a company that worked in the UK. So they brought me over here, and I was able to start working in this area as a consultant directly. For a graduate, I think there are two, three ways by which you can get into as a consultant. One is as a graduate, like quite a few people do. The other, a slightly more fast track way, as an MBA, especially if you're coming from India. Um, for a graduate, most of these consultancies do pick up a batches on a regular basis. uh, they're brought in, they're put into different projects. And again, the best thing they can do is get involved, and as involved as possible in each of these projects, support that project to the max. I don't expect, when I joined, or for example, you joined as in your first parts of the career, you didn't know the answers. I did not know the answers, but it's only by working with others that you get to learn all these different things that you need to do to succeed. And being able to work in the different aspects with different project team members just helps. uh, MBA is probably a slightly more fast track, because you don't join at the sort of entry level, you join a couple of rungs higher on that particular ladder. But again, similar. Often, as an MBA, you might have the more generalist knowledge and the right skills, but you would not have a lot of the industry experience and knowledge that you need in order to fully deliver what needs to be delivered. In the various programs and projects. So again, similar for that as an MBA. But the third category is, I'll call it laterals. But a lot of people with industry expertise join in as consultants. So people with plenty of years of experience in excuse me, in whatever industry, whether it be retail or utilities or whatever, they do join in as consultants, and then their experience in this sector is what they bring to the table. Whereas a consultant who's sort of worked his way up the consulting ladder brings the more consulting based skills to the table.
Sure. Thank you so much, Krishna, for sharing your lovely insights. It was a pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Thanks, Manmeet. All the best for this particular podcast.
Thank you.